The hottest striker on the block right now is no one else but Erling Haaland. The Norwegian has been scoring and breaking records since he joined Man City in the summer, and frankly, even long before then. But the man has proven that he is more than just the goals. So, if you think you know the 22-year-old just because you watch him play week in and week out, you might just be shocked by things you will find out in this video. Here are 10 things Haaland did that will shock you. Number 1. 9 goals in one match. Haaland won Premier League Player of the Month for August after scoring 9 goals in his first month in England. He was just a goal away from equaling the Premier League record for most goals scored in one month. But did you know that the Norwegian once scored 9 goals in a single match? And yes, it was an official game. In the FIFA Under-20 World Cup back in 2019, Haaland put the ball in the back of the net a record 9 times in a single game. He was only 18 at the time. Of course, he went on to win the Golden Boot in that tournament. In fact, listen to this, Haaland aside, the highest goalscorer in that tournament finished with 4 goals. So, that means that, in one match, Haaland scored more than 2 times what the best goalscorers in the different teams managed throughout the tournament. That's absolutely insane. What a beast this guy is. Number 2. He broke a non-footballing record. To be honest, we're probably all getting too used to hearing that Haaland just broke another footballing record. He does that every other time he steps on the pitch these days. But what if we told you that, even before he started footballing records, he was already a world record holder in a completely different sport? That would shock you, wouldn't it? According to reports, when Haaland was just 5 years old, he recorded a distance of 1.63 meters in standing long jump, which became a world record for that age group. So, if he didn't become a footballer, maybe, just maybe Haaland would have been an Olympic gold medalist by now. Number 3. Haaland played almost 10 different sports. When he was still a child, Haaland played almost every type of sport available to him back then. Apart from football, he played handball, golf, tennis, did cross-country skiing, sprints, long jump, and a few more others. His father, who is a former footballer himself, introduced him to all these sports as a child to give him numerous options and also build his athleticism, but the boy ended up following in his father's footsteps by choosing a career in football. Number 4. Snubbed England. Being born in England, Haaland was eligible to play for the Three Lions, and of course, they wanted him to. I mean, who wouldn't? But Haaland snubbed England and chose Norway instead. It is pretty shocking because England is obviously a more successful national team than Norway, and he would have had more chances at an international trophy with England than with Norway. I mean, take a look at the situation of things right now. With Norway, he will be missing out on this year's World Cup, and maybe a few more, you think. But with England, it would have been a totally different story. But none of these things moved Haaland. He chose Norway and pledged allegiance to them in 2019. Perhaps it's because he spent most of his growing up years there and has a huge connection with the country. You know what? Fair enough. Number 5. Slept with match balls. Haaland confessed that, back when he was at RB Salzburg in Austria, he used to sleep with 5 balls, each one from a time he completed a hat-trick and earned the rights to keep the match ball. He literally called the balls his girlfriends. Here's what he said in an interview back then. "I sleep with the 5 balls for each hat-trick I have scored. I lie in bed and I feel good with them. I look at them every day. They are my girlfriends." Pretty weird, won't you say? But well, it's Haaland, how can we question him? Before moving on, don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Also, leave a comment on which player we should focus on in our next video. Number 6. Idolized Mitchu. There was Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Ronaldo Nazario. We could go on and on naming super talented and ultra successful strikers, but Haaland snubbed all of them and drew inspiration from a man called Mitchu instead. That is a pretty shocking discovery, isn't it? First of all, if you don't know Mitchu, you're probably too young. The Spanish striker is fondly remembered for the amazing season he had with Swansea in the Premier League in 2012-13. Haaland loved the 6'1" striker so much that he once named himself Michi Oviedo 9 inches on Instagram when he was younger. Number 7. Used the Champions League song as his alarm. What does your alarm sound like? Our guess is that, whatever it is not the Champions League song. Well, that's probably cause you're not Erling Haaland. Back in 2019, the new City marksman revealed that his alarm tune is the famous Champions League anthem. He said he'd wake up to it every single day and it'd help him get a perfect start to his day. Well, you might call it unusual or even obsessive, but considering the truckload of goals and records he has managed in that competition at such a young age, you have to say it has worked pretty great for him. Number 8. Rap. Oh yes, Erling Haaland once tried his hands on hip-hop music. When he was a teenager, he and two other Norwegian footballers Erik Botheim and Erik Tobias Sandberg formed a rap group called Flow Kings. They dropped a song titled Kygo Joe some years back and that video has amassed over 9 million views since. Haaland explained that the now famous video was, in fact, born out of boredom. He and his two friends were out with the Norwegian under-17 national team, and one day, having nothing to do after training, they decided to just make a music video. That's very interesting, isn't it? With millions of views on YouTube, that qualifies as a hit song, doesn't it? Number 9. Hinted a move to Leeds. Haaland only just arrived at City and is enjoying it there, but it is looking like he has his eye on a move to another Premier League club. And not only does he want to move there someday, he wants to win the league with them, too. He once said in an interview that the dream is to win the Premier League with Leeds. Honestly, it is already looking like a certainty that Haaland will win the Premier League. But with Leeds, we really do not think so. Anyway, it's actually no surprise that he said that about Leeds. His dad played for the club and that was the city where he was born, so he is surely going to always have a soft spot for the club. But will he actually move to Leeds United someday? What do you think? Number 10. Refused to walk over the City crest. City's first home game of the season against Bournemouth was actually not Haaland's first game at the Etihad. He had already visited the stadium when he was a Dortmund player and he did something that immediately endeared him to the Etihad faithful. So, coming out of the tunnel, the Manchester City crest is on the floor just before you step into the pitch proper. It's common for City players to walk around the crest. It's a way of showing their respect for the club by not stepping on something that represents the club and the fans. But opposing players don't care. And to be fair, they have no reason to. Visiting players mindlessly step over the crest when they come out of the Etihad tunnel, but not Haaland. Even though he was not yet a City player then, he made sure to show his respect to a club his father played for and a club he supported and followed a lot as a kid. For many City fans around the world, that day was the day they were sure that the Norwegian giant was going to join their club despite all odds. As it turns out, they were not wrong. Anyway, these are 10 things Haaland did that will shock you. Which of them shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Also, while you're there, if you have more shocking things that the Man City man has done or some predictions of some shocking things he will do in the future, feel free to share them with us. Before you leave, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We'll make sure to continue giving you more and more amazing content. That's all from Hattrick for now.